Body, once again, unfortunately, I bring another disturbing story. I am just so appalled by some of the misconduct that goes on in this evil world. Things that are just to the likes of which no one's ever seen, which would equate that which would be just incomprehensible. Like, I don't understand. It's something that I just can't fathom. And this particular story relates to two parents with a 10-month-year-old baby that they basically ignored. Ignored. Here's the thing. Look. This is what foster care is for. If you can't take care of your child, then why abandon the child? Why act in vulgarity towards the child? If you can't take care of a child, put the child in foster care. Send them to a family that would love to take care of a child. And this story right here is beyond appalling. I'm gonna let y'all listen to this. Again, this is disturbing. As Dawson would say, take a breath. My God. All right, come on, let's get into this.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being with me today. You know, we have a lot of press conferences. Some of them have levity, some of them are very serious, and then there are some that are tragic and horrifically sad, and that's what this one is about today.
Very sad.
I'm about to release information to you that probably before I get halfway through this press conference, you will be thinking, why in the world is he saying these horrible things? Well, you need to know. You need to know in the real world, when people don't do what's right, really, really, really bad things happen. So we're going to tell you what this child experienced at the hands of their parents because the parents didn't do the right thing.
Unbelievable.
I want to introduce you to the parents, to Keisha Williams, who's 24,
Crazy.
and Ephraim Allen Jr., who's 25.
Sick.
Here's when it all began. In July of 2020, when this beautiful baby boy was only 10 months old, he suffered a near drowning experience at a short term rental in the northeast area of the county. A
Mm.
near drowning. He toddled off into the pool. There was life-saving efforts to try to save this baby's life.
Mm.
When they got him to the hospital at the conclusion of all of their valiant efforts, the child had no brain activity,
Jesus.
could not even blink his eyes, cannot move his extremities, and quite frankly, it was recommended to the parents that he be removed from any life-saving measures because the child would forever be in a coma with no brain activity. They didn't want to do that. So ultimately, these parents were sent home with their infant on a ventilator, a permanent ventilator, with a stomach tube,
Oh my God.
and health care, home health care 3 times a week. Now that went on for over 2 years. As of last October, the parents began to reject the home health care.
Why would they do that?
Despite the health care company's best efforts, they would not be home, would not answer the door. So the last time home health care dealt with this child was in October of last year.
Wow.
Understand, all of this was occurring at absolutely no cost to the parents.
So what was
In
their
fact, the
excuse?
mother was receiving benefits
Wow.
to stay home and take care of this baby.
So it was all about, are you serious? So it was all about the money at the behest of your child nearly dying? And eventually it did die, by the way. That is sick. You know what? The Bible ain't lying when it says that the love of money is the root of all evil. She benefited, financially benefited in lieu of her child, taking the child off of the ventilator, stopping child. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just pissed. I'm just pissed. I'm pissed. Go ahead. Go ahead. Come on. Come on.
So let's fast forward to Friday, May the 12th. There's a 911 call
Evil.
to the city of Bartow, to the Azalea Apartments where they live, where the mother said, you know, the child's pulsometer is not working correctly. This is really not an emergency. You don't need red lights and sirens, but
What?
we'd like fire to come over and check the baby. So they responded to the house in a normal, routine fashion. And when they arrived, they saw this child hooked up to a ventilator,
Mm.
and this ventilator was working appropriately, but there appeared to be no life in the child.
Oh my God.
This child had an extremely extended stomach, and it was green.
What kind of a
This
shit?
child was rotting in the bed.
Oh Lord.
They rushed this baby to the hospital,
Or all of a sudden, it should
where
have been did
for
that.
over an hour or about an hour, between EMS, fire services, and medical personnel, they tried to save this baby's life.
It's sick.
At the hospital, when they started taking off the diapers and the clothes, they noticed ulcers,
What?
large, gaping wounds through the body down into the muscle.
Wait a minute. Hold, wait, 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 wait. First of all, why did they stop the home care? And now all of a sudden things are going wrong. Now they want to rush the baby to the hospital. Now that don't make sense. That is sick.
They noticed there was no rectum. There was just a big, gaping hole where the
Oh,
intestines and the spinal column was visible. They
Jesus.
notified the Bartow Police Department, who immediately said, hey, we need the sheriff's office to assist us. This is a very complex investigation. So our homicide team responded. We noticed immediately the child smelled of decomposition.
Jesus.
We went back to the house where the child laid lifeless as it had for 2 years and smelled decomposition in the room.
2 years?
The medical doctor at the emergency room said this child has not had the appropriate care for months.
Because they stopped it.
The medical examiner at the autopsy said the child had sepsis,
Mm.
bilateral pneumonia,
Oh, God.
stage 5 ulcers,
Jesus.
obvious not child neglect. So we talked to the parents.
That is
And we go,
beyond
what
child
is
abuse.
going on here? They said, well, they didn't want DCF to take their children, so they didn't call. But they had tried to get more home health care.
Why did they
So
stop
we
it?
introduced ourselves to the potential health care providers, and they said, we accepted them. We went there and wanted to see the child. They said, don't wake the child up today. This is just an introduction. And the next time they went, nobody answered the door. So obviously they were trying to create a facade or to say, well, we asked for help. They let this baby rot and die in its bed.
Jesus.
I've done this for 5 decades. I have seen thousands of children abused,
But nothing like this.
hundreds of children
Nothing to
murdered
this
at the
Christian.
hands of parents. I have never seen the horror
Nothing like this.
that we saw with this poor child at the hands of these two folks.
Now listen,
I talk,
this is why I said, if you can't take care of a child, why didn't they put the child in foster care? Listen, listen. It's no different than somebody working in a nursing home. I was watching a video not too long ago where these two girls had abused this man, this elderly man, in a nursing facility. They were very abusive to him, and they were caught on tape doing it or video. Here's my point. If you don't have the patience for that, then why are you working in a facility where patience is required? So it's no different in a situation like this. If you can't take care of the child,
On February
that doesn't, I'm
28th,
sorry, no, wait. If you can't take care of the child, then why are you doing this? I might as well just leave it at that. But no. Y'all leave me your feedback on. I don't understand this. And now if this is how much it lets you know how much of an influence that money can have over people, that they can just not even care and disregard their child. Did you hear what he was saying? They were benefiting. She was receiving benefits, making money. That is dirty, disgusting. Let me see if I can find the other part of this.
Child endured at the hands of these folks. They're charged with aggravated manslaughter,
As,
among other charges,
as they
at
should.
this time. They were locked up in the county jail with a bond of $100,000.
Should be more than that.
The state attorney's office actually filed direct once we got the initial medical examiner's report. The state attorney's office, Brian Haas, our state attorney, who is simply the very best, is game on every day. And I'm certain if you talk to him, he would be as mortified as we all are
I am
that
mortified.
this baby was left in this condition. My job is to protect children, to protect everyone. But my heart is with protecting the very youngest because you
Right.
see, they have no choice
They're
of where
harmless.
they live or what they eat or what they wear or who they associate
That's
with.
the responsibility of the parents.
It's up to parents
Yes,
to make the
yes,
right decisions.
exactly.
And I suggest to you the right decisions haven't been made since this child was 10 months old
Won't make no
and
sense.
suffered a horrible tragedy. And then I suggest to you, and this is only supposition on my part, they just got tired of the baby.
Why didn't they put
They
it in
just
foster
got
care?
tired of the intensive care this child needed.
Stupid.
And as a result, the child laid there
And died.
and suffered and
Mmm.
suffered and suffered till finally there was no life left in the
That's
baby.
sick. What the
There's nothing
hell?
else I can tell you. If you have any questions, there's still nothing else I
All
can
right,
tell you.
I really can't even stomach any more of this because I'm just so extremely upset and appalled by this. I just here we go again. I don't understand the logic behind that. The child was supposed to be given health care. They even went to knocked on their door. They wouldn't even answer. Why? Why? There's so much evil in this world, y'all. Like I was telling y'all the other day, like the devil is everywhere. And the devil is always at a place where you don't expect. Who expects two parents to neglect their own flesh and blood? Their own flesh and blood, their own kin, their own baby for that matter, like that. Once again, when you think it can't get any worse, it's always something that goes beyond that. Y'all leave your comments. I would like to get your feedback on this. This is sick. The parents' names: Takesha Williams and Areem Allen Jr. Both of those parents are in prison for neglect, for child abuse.